Holy shit. What do I have here today? It's a headless monster. I have in my hands the Schecter Synyster Gates custom 6-string headless with the trem and Sustainiac pickup. Fun fact, it also comes in a 7-string version, but I'm not much of a 7-string player. Therefore, here I am trying out this 6-string. So, let's get right into it, right? The specs. There's no head. You got your clamp on here. You use a hex wrench to tighten the strings down. Got a Graphtec nut. It's an ebony board with 24 jumbo stainless steel frets. You got the Synyster Gates inlay on the 12th fret. It's luminlay side dots, carbon fiber reinforced neck. It's a maple neck. And then you have a mahogany body with a maple center block. This bridge pickup is a Schecter designed Synyster Gates pickup. Sustainiac in the neck, obviously. And a Hipshot bridge with the trem. And you have a single volume, no tone, 3-way pickup selector, the on and off for the Sustainiac, and of course the Sustainiac modes right here. Now let's talk about the headless guitar in terms of it being ergonomic and stuff like that. Let's get it. Let's get down to brass tacks right here. So, I've owned a Kiesel and a STRANDBERG before. I had a STRANDBERG Ceylon Jazz model, and I sold that, and I still own the Zeus Kiesel model. First thing I need to say that for those of you who are concerned about weight, this is probably the heaviest headless that I have held in my hands. The STRANDBERG Ceylon Jazz was one of the heavier models out there compared to the other models. The Kiesel is pretty lightweight. This kind of sits a little heavier than both of those. It could be the trem system perhaps, because the mahogany is chambered here. With the it's probably the maple center block contributing to that excess weight. The 7-string is much heavier than the 6-string. But in terms of comfort, what's good about most headless guitars is that it's much more comfortable for those who have, shoulder issues, back issues. Same thing when I sit down with this, I feel like, because some guitars, it's not comfortable for those big body guitars where it kind of elevates your shoulder, makes you feel uncomfortable. This still feels comfortable to hold in your hands. There is no real neck dive or anything. The weight is great, the balance is great over there. Who else may prefer this guitar? Those who perhaps travel a lot, they're gonna need a smaller guitar. Perhaps they want to bring this and put it in the overhead compartment. That's great and all, but it does not come with a soft case or anything in the box. You gotta purchase that after the fact. I personally prefer a headless guitar, especially when the tuning mechanism is on the bridge. I would prefer it not to be a tremolo version. I prefer a fixed bridge. Why? Because tuning it, when you are tuning this, you gotta be careful not to move the bridge up or down as you're turning the tuning mechanism. So you may think you're in tune, but you could probably be sharp or flat. So the best way to tune it is to pluck the string, turn it, let go, and see what's the note on your tuner. Speaking about tuning, you can't use your headstock tuners because the Schecter headstock has that, this little thing here that makes it a little fat. So you can't clip on a headstock tuner. You're gonna want to use either your pedalboard tuner, your multi-effects tuner, or like a regular old ass tuner like this. Other than that, for some of you, you may not like that the volume knob is so far away. It is behind the pickup selector, and the bar kind of gets in the way of you quickly accessing the volume knob to adjust your input gain into the amp. But then again, it is a metal guitar. Why are you even fooling with the volume knob? Number one. And what else can I say before we move on to the tones? I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Oh yeah, don't forget there's a battery compartment right there for the Sustainiac, and a nice brushed steel covers for the cavity springs and electronics. Nice upper fret excess. And something I forgot to mention very quickly is the neck on the Schecter. It is a thin C. So if you are used to a lot of Schecter guitars, you would probably be pretty much at home with this neck carve. Now comparing to the Kiesel regular neck carve, I kind of prefer that because with the thin C, there's a lot of gap in my palm. So I would prefer a slightly rounder neck profile so it kind of fills up my palm a bit more. So the Schecter necks tend to be a bit more thinner and wider in comparison to other guitar companies. So that's something to consider when you're buying this online. So I would heavily suggest you head down to a store and try out this guitar. Now, let's quickly go through the more important things, such as the tone on this guitar. I'm going through a Soldano Astro 20, going to an orange 2x12 vertical cabinet, being mic'd up by two SM57s with the Fredman mic clip, and in the reverb I have some effects loop because it makes me happy. So let's just touch on the clean tones of this guitar. I'm going to start with the bridge pickup, just because it is the Schecter designed one, and here's an E chord. Now that is the bridge pickup. Let's go to the neck pickup, the Sustainiac pickup, which is a tad bright for those of you who don't know how the Sustainiac sounds without it sustaining. And finally, let's go to the in-between position. So with the in-between position, I kind of like that it sounds like you're coil tapping both the humbuckers, and you're getting this, this funky. You can do, if you want to funk out on this guitar, you can go right ahead. Now I'm going to try some mild gain tones. I'm going to swap to some delay. I feel this guitar loves delay more than reverb. I'm going to pump the mix a bit. Beer's getting in the way. Some sweet tones if you roll back the volume knob. I kind of like that. Let me put it in the in-between position. I kind of like that the middle position warms up a little bit, because in combination with the bridge pickup, it kind of counters that super bright Sustainiac. But of course, the real star of the show here. Is to go through some of these high gain tones, so I'm gonna cut down the reverb. Let's listen to that. Big, thick, sounds really good. Enough said. I guess I'll drop D for those of you who prefers to drop their tuning. I forgot it's a floating trem, so the tuning runs when you drop a string. But here goes, drop D. There you go, guys. Schecter Synyster Gate 6-string. So much fun, actually. It's so much fun to riff on this, and so much fun to use the Sustainiac. So there you go. If you're looking for a Schecter headless guitar with a Sustainiac, a trem, something that's a little bit more lightweight than the regular Schecter guitars for you to travel on about, you can get this right here in my hand. So give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content, leave a comment down below, show your love, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!